We are back live. And hopefully the alerts and stuff like that are actually working and the audio is sensible. Hopefully you guys are doing good. I got warp in the game. Warp is a big deal. It allows me to actually continuously accelerate in star system to star system. And it might be art time. I need to put some lights on this thing to kind of showcase whether it's online or not. I think we're gonna put them here and like literally put a light right there. That should be visible. And there'll be like another set kind of up here somewhere. But I think 2 will do. It's just going to be a systemic thing. So I think we might go in and re-export this and add a few little things that we can use for that. And then we'll kind of get the real, get the light in there. Kind of go with it. Yeah, there's the cam set. I don't know why. We might need to actually update it. And maybe actually just go in and set this up. This asset's not really set up. And hopefully my chat works. Let me get chat arena open just as a backup. There's a metallic one, 0 point. I like the round news. Yeah, so now it looks a lot better. Mhm. Actually, yeah, well, I'm gonna have a bit of extending this. I'm just gonna actually put a sounder. It's only 16. Yeah, today we're gonna get the comm arrays with their little status kind of working, make them enableable and disableable. And we didn't really want a shadow on them. Fusion! How's it going, dude? Yeah, show you something, sure. Yeah, great, thanks. Fusion. Oh man, this is like, oh, stuff happening. We can do what we couldn't do before. Right, we can do the missions. We're still on the systems project. New UI. New system we're working on now for the comm system. We have the warp drive in, so I've already added the warp drive. I'm gonna put the comm system in here, but check it out. So the warp drive is right here, now installed. And because the warp drive is now installed, and we have the status of like the components, I can now take off and reach. So once I reach a certain speed, I can engage the warp, and we'll just slowly keep increasing and increasing. Just watch it. You can see the ripple. There's not enough space information. But check it out. Watch this. So we're now going 3, 4, 500. Boom, and then we turn into a rigid body again. And we can go on forever. But I want to show you what it looks like when we're actually skimming something. Look at this. So you can see all the wobble of the items that we're passing by, like the refraction. Oh yeah, no, that looks great. I'm trying to get the status of the comm arrays, because you can go in and shut them down now. Oh yeah, no, that's actually fine. I like that. This is going great. Well, the thing is a lot of this is playable. Like a lot of it, we have systems in place. The multiplayer, you can spawn your own chips in. We have actual like stars you can scoop. We have missile systems. We have like we never had none of these things in Unity. Like if I could make, you know, if Fusion, if we could make a trailer now, or if I could steal a little bit of your time to kind of highlight what needs to be a focus, let's say, of a new trailer. Like what is here now in the game, game-wise, is yeah, like there's so many more things. Check this out. Let me target the ship. Let me find target our ship. Look at the target indicator. So it's like the hologram is actually working, like I wanted it to originally, like the vision of the hologram. Check out the missiles. Boom, they release from the wings. They fly by wire. They actually blow up. They have effects and like, you know, decals. All the system, like I said, everything we've had in Unity now is actually in the game and working. We just I have a new shield effect. I don't know if I sent you that. The shields are going to look absolutely great. I don't have them in yet. Right? It turns into salvage. Obviously, it's not separating the pieces or anything yet. Explosions. I don't have them in on the hull. I just got it all working. Like the shields are working physically. It's binding in the salvage components, but not simulating the explosion. But I have the affected explosion. Just don't have it in. Right? We have a full. Check this out. Let me go to map mode. So this is a scaled down version of the universe. It's not quite right. But the idea is we can actually target things using R, and I can like go between different items and select them that way, like in the 2D star map with map mode, and then jump to them. But yeah, you kind of get up the speed, hit the warp, and you just keep going faster and faster and faster, depending on how close you are to a gravitational object. Now I'm going to make warp controllable, but so you can slowly steer in this mode, right? The idea is that, like, you know, once you gain up the speed, if a pirate starts kind of like heading towards you, right, the pirate can like lock onto you and pull you out. Well, that's just it. I need to know what to polish, right? Like to focus on neutrality. Boom. And then we just come down. And we're way over here. Alright, now we have unlimited space. Now we have the whole, you know, 80 million meters of a universe. So we can make things as long as it takes or as short as it takes, you know, to get there. We can balance things out. We can actually separate all the stations. We can have them lazy load in. Right? All the original, see, I love this. This is great. Just kind of cruising along, you know, checking your sensors, making sure no one's trying to kill you. Get them to come out and realign. And punch it again. Come around the back. And this is not even the main project fusion. This is the test build for all the systems. But what I want to get working soon is to jump gates as well. They're just placeholder art. The different size of jump gates. But to be able to kind of go from server to server over a jump gate. You want to see something interesting? Did I show you the the server meshing technology that I was working on? Let me know if I showcased it to you before. Do it? Oh, you haven't seen it? Okay, check this out. So this is Celestial Net. Alright, so I'm going to run a replicator. We'll keep this open. Right, so we have one replicator here. But just think of every one of these shards as like a server of a shard, not necessarily a shard. So I just created, right, like 4 objects, 5, 6. They're kind of spawning randomly, right? So I have 6 entities here running on this server that are replicating. So let me run another shard. Right, so now we have all this data being replicated. So each of these is a server. Now we have 2 servers running. Right, now we're going to run, right, a 3rd one. And then all of this is fully replicated. Each one authoritatively controlling its own entities. But watch what happens now if we, right, so we have a replicator being fed in data, which it's, you know, actually copying. So I'm going to kill the replicator. Now each shard is now kind of running on its own right now, independently. But we're going to run a new replicator, and it's going to take on the role of everything that the original replicator was doing. So if I run another shard and give it a second to replicate back, because it needs to, after one dies, it does need to kind of make sure authority is synchronized. So now we have all these, and now I'm going to just kill them all. So I'm going to kill every single shard. And the replicator is still running. See, now it's no longer receiving data, so it kind of stops for a second. And now I'm going to run one more. And this one will also be a shard. And oh, look, all the entities are back. And the only way to kill it is to kill the replicator and the shard at the same time. As long as one exists, right? It can handle the load, and as I keep adding more of them, right? So everything just right, so synchronizes. So the idea is like wherever two servers, right, our Bebop Dallas, well, wherever two servers are kind of like at their edges, this is used to replicate the edges of two servers. So more like SE replication layer than splitting up space between multiple servers. Yeah. So we still do that. I'm still going to do that. I'm still doing one. I didn't know you were doing server meshing. Well, this is just like 4 days of development, so don't worry about Celestial yet. What I'm thinking about how this is going to work, Fusion, is let's say this is a server, right? And we want to run all of our NPCs in isolation. What we can do is we can run all the NPCs on a shard connected to replication, so they can simulate all the physics and like nav mesh movement and kind of take on the service load of, let's say, just NPCs. And then those NPCs can be, right, because their entity values is what's being kind of changed after the simulation. And on the client, they're just receiving them through the shard that we're connected with. We can break up the shard, like the server's systems, into like microservices, right? So that way, like, let's say we want to, like, you know, have one truck stop which is super popular and there's like 50 people there or something like that, right? We can break it down into into two different dedicated servers with replication between them, right? And they'll just be like, you know, just to kind of like handle the load. And if it dies, right, like if the shard dies and kills the player, and the player needs to like kind of be paused and like resynced because, you know, a new shard has a spawn, or the authority of the entities needs to move to another shard, you know, it might lock up for a second and say like resyncing or something, but it'd still be easier. But I built the system to extend Godot's multiplayer, because Godot's multiplayer can only handle either being a server or a client. So I want to build this custom low-level solution that can replicate level data between, you know, shards between servers that are running, so that we can like think of it like so also like not just for like handling players, but to be able to pre-allocate assets that are on other servers, right? So when that server takes over, it already has all those game objects loaded, right? Like I could spin up a server, true replication, take all of those entities and make sure they exist and that they're in sync. And the second they're in sync, I can say, you're now the server, old server die, right? So that way, like a server can use it as a system to spin up a new server and take over authority of all of those simulated entities and kill the old server gracefully. And it can kind of like be used as more of a server side, kind of a garbage collector type thing, to kind of make sure that like the system is stable and has like redundancy amongst itself. So to take down a whole star system, you need to take down everything. You got to take down like the, you know, the service layer, right? The multiple like player servers that are like handling different players, that they would all have to die, right, for the whole system to kind of crash. Otherwise it can spin up little instances to kind of help, you know, like, and pull data from replication. So I think it'll be fine. So that's yeah, because I still want to do things kind of based on zone, like based on physicality, because it's easier to kind of split things up that way. But I can layer it as well. Like there's no real limitation to what you can do with netcode, you know, when you really kind of dig into it. But yeah, so that's you know, stuff that I've been working on. Putting NPCs on different shard from players improve performance. Absolutely, yeah, because they're not simulated anymore. The only thing that shard is getting then is the same data that the player would be getting, which is position data, positional data, rotation data, and maybe like the animation tree state, right? So like what animation, you see the engine animation. Yeah, that's not done yet to be shown, but that'll be back. I like that. Yeah, I think it'll work, Biba. You know, and you know, like since the last update, like tonight I'm gonna do a build, and this build's gonna have, you know, pretty much all the new stuff, the quantum travel. You know, like this is gonna be like widening things. You have a flicker now to ion thrusters? A flicker? What are we doing? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, so we gotta finish this. Well, you should. Oh, a few, like they're very basic, but like they're not. They're going to be great. Trust me. Check this out. Ignore the fact that they're just like a sine wave right now, like as far as how they look. But check this out. Right. So when I hit the mesh now, anywhere I hit, so the shader has properties of a vector 3 that I can feed it as a bunch of uniform buffers, and as I hit the shield with damage and penetrate the damage into the shield, it actually creates the vector anywhere along the shield. And what's cool about it, even though it's kind of hard to see here, and I'll move it around, is that that's actually a full legitimate, like that's a full legitimate bubble shield. Like that's actually vertex animations, and they're going to have noise. So they're going to be like a noise algorithm that's going to be used for the effect. So the effect is going to actually like hit damage, and it's going to look more kind of grungy and spread out more grungy. So it'll be, but yeah, and let me just kind of move the, right, and obviously it's not going to be instantaneous either. It's going to kind of like, you know, when the point gets fed in, it'll be like a reverse effect, and we could have a ton of like I have right now I have 8 potential uniforms on the shader that we can like feed into. But when it's all done, we're gonna have these layered kind of like shields that can just like react to the damage, and are gonna look like so good when they're kind of like ready to, like finalized. I mean, this is kind of like just what things kind of look like, right, normally. But obviously when they're moving with the damage, there's the fact that you can like, it reacts to every single point, right, like on the shield. So it's gonna be cool. Like when I finish like the decals, like of how I want to kind of have it displayed, it's gonna provide like really good player like feedback of the damage being done, and then the color of the actual ship shield will be dynamically kind of like changing with the strength of the average face. So depending on what face we're hitting, whatever the closest point we are to the damage impact, right, we sample whatever the data is of that shield face itself, because there's like 6 shield faces, and then we bring down the color depending on like which shield face took the damage. And so you'll kind of be able to like hit the shield and see the shield only as it's being hit, and then the shield will go from blue right down into the orange and until the shield is gone, and then you're just doing whole damage. So it'd be it should feel really punchy when it's done. But I just want to get it working. But, that was the big thing. What did you say with the flicker to the ion thrusters? I don't think the ion thrusters are not exactly the same as they were in Unity, and they have a weird bug. Top, bottom, keep the energy level. All I'm gonna do is change color, really. I've heard of them. depending on our status. Favorite colors for enable, colors for disable. Yeah, and we'll use those. For startup, plain active is true. And we're just gonna say we're just gonna iterate for each of the lights. Because that's all we want. The energy we're going to keep at 3. And we'll add more properties to how this looks, you know, eventually. But for now, we're just going to be able to turn it off. And we'll just be able to run, you know, or shut down and start up. This game is looking weird. Are we going to get alien dash paddles to put in our trucks? Yes. Absolutely. You gotta have alien dash paddles to put in your trucks. And we're not doing no. And music's not happening. But yes, we're gonna get music as well. We want start up and shut down. And we're gonna hook in from our panel, which has our access to our camera array. We're going to create public void down, which is going to tell our con satellite to shut down. Just so we can kind of plug in our UI to it. So for shutdown, we're going to say panel, do not shut down. And for the button on, we're going to tell the panel to start up. And we'll do the RPCs for multiplayer after. We just want to see how it looks. Get it going. Now, if we go into the terminal, satellite. It's going to make these a little bit bigger. So they're a little bit easier to hit. We won't worry too much about it. On and off. We'll change font. $42. And we have unnecessarily large buttons. And they're all hooked up. Satellite set up. In its default state. We can turn it off and turn it on again. We'll see what happens. Let's go play reboot the camera and see what happens. See if we get red lights. See, I like this because we can clearly tell at a distance that the satellite is on because it's red. We like the color. We don't have any shadows enabled, but just getting that metallic reflection of the red or of the green is like a perfect player. You know, it's a good player experience. You can kind of visually tell, hey, that's on. We're good. So let's bring our ship in. We're gonna head over and. Got the warp now. The warp component's now fully in the build. Like as an actual like buyable, sellable component that you can actually now buy and put on the ship. So let's head over. Oh, that's actually really good. Okay, good. I need to do a limiter. We gotta get the limiter working for movement because the ship's like stupid fast, and I still gotta fix the bug with the yeah, perfect. That's what I want. Now obviously this is very under exaggerated, but the reflections being red are perfect. That's exactly what we want, to be able to indicate from a distance that the camera is off and that it needs to be turned back on again. I think on the red side it could probably be a bit brighter. I'm going to jump in the ship, fly away from it. And then when these are actually off, right, we won't have a... when we get our comm system put in, we should have a status indicator of if we're connected to the network or not. So we want to actually get these systems online. So now you see the shadow, see the red reflection. So we now know, right, that this is off and that we need to shut it down. So it's very subtle. And we're going to go turn it back on again. Yep, there we go. So now we have comm arrays that can now be, or comm communication satellites working. As far as them being able to be, you know, turned on and turned off, which is good. I need to fix this line not connecting. Yeah, I wonder why it doesn't actually, when we reset it. Yeah, it's fine. Like the multi-tool gets stuck on a target. Yeah, so we need missiles to be purchasable and spawnable. We need to be able to put them on our ship like manually to the item port. So we need to make racks to work as item ports, but not a priority. Yeah, we need to. And I got interpolation on the menu or thing. The tractor beam. Oh, I'm tiring today. Yeah, it works. So the main stations have one of those as well. I just need to model it at the bottom, which will be repairable. I need to kind of figure out, like, mechanically, like what's going to fail on these and how we're going to repair them. Get our speed up and turn on the old warp drive. Oh, it's so cool. Oh, so happy to have the warp working. It just says music, sound design. We do need sound design. We're actually soon needing sound design when you really think about it, because a lot of this stuff is almost playable. Like, I need to fix the ship cargo grid this week, so we can actually start like getting the cargo locked into place and making the cargo grid like optionally able to freeze and unfreeze the physics bodies, like make it work as it actually really should. So we can guarantee that everything's stable, and then we can start like literally randomly distributing stations, right, that have random truck stops on them, like random commodities, and we can start doing the missions, you know, to buy and sell those commodities. And the cool thing is we can actually start creating a virtual economy simulation. Now that I know a little bit about how that works, I can make the server connect to the economy system directly, and we can run the economy system kind of in the background, and then have the data that's being generated from the economy system be, you know, received by the server, which will then like update the inventory of all those items, and we can actually start developing the economy system as a totally separate project, right? Because as long as the IDs of the items, right, as long as the IDs of the actual like commodities and stuff that are being simulated, and the IDs of the stations and things like that that the NPCs are moving to, all match up. Everything all the virtual NPCs do should be fine, and it'd be cool put in like a visualization of the virtual NPCs, kind of layered over the universe, just showing the kind of like what they're doing in like a debug view. That could be kind of a cool thing. Big Missile is good too. We're gonna take a break at some point and visit nothing, like a whole week of, you know, FPS improvements. and finishing up some of those animations, getting credits working, getting ADS and stuff like that working, kind of making it like stable. Same thing with ship flight. I'm kind of doing a little bit of ship flight right now. You know, as I'm kind of like tweaking stuff for warp, but it still needs like a indicator of thrust. We got thrust limiter, and I still need to get quantum maneuvering working as well. But overall, it's starting to feel like a wider open game. Yeah, I think every time we target something, we should subscribe to it. So that way, when it dies, it has a callback on what targeted it, or that it has been destroyed. And they can auto-clear the sensors that way. So that every time we do a target, we like into another ship's sensors, and they get detected. We subscribe to an event, either like a status event, which will then get like, you know, set to a, you know, pretty much an enumerator call on a return. So like we subscribe, our sensor subscribes to it, and then the ship gets blown up, and when the ship gets blown up, then it can you know, propagate, you know, over that kind of, over that subscription that it's been destroyed, whatever the you know the status is. As it changes, it invokes the event to the subscribers, and then that'll tell our own ship systems to clean up the data references to that ship, so I don't need to forcefully do it. Yeah, why is this one so yeah, I added the terminal. Trading panel needs to have its display material emission off and its shading set to unshaded. Because they're going to be screens, they're always emitting their own light, so they really don't need to be shaded. Too warm, can't function. Alright, so let's buy something. It's been a while since I've got some gas. More metals. So we have gas, metals. We all seem to have cargo box references in the assets themselves. It's got a cargo area reference. Oh, it doesn't have a size. That counts it. 4, 5, 4, 5, 4. I don't know what our cargo indicator is. Maybe it's a cargo grid base. Oh, okay, we're just using a generic cargo box for testing and then setting the commodity ID. We're not using the economy reference, apparently, in the test. We're using a cargo box that we're just setting. Doesn't really have a set ID, so what are we doing? Cargo area doing? Set a commodity ID. Oh, okay, that makes sense. So this should work. Like I had cargo mission, so like cargo selling should be working. That was one of the first things I made. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we need to get the cargo grid. Sell. Oh yeah, there you go. And we just sell them back. This one back in. Okay, I gotta finish the event. Yeah, that's actually not bad. That works. So it does, I don't even know, yeah, did we end up, I think we had to remove. Did we, on the ship? What I'm gonna do, I think, this week is go back to the roots and get the cargo system stable. And I get the cargo grid working. And then we start buying and selling cargo in the game. Oh no, there's a cargo grid there. Okay, so maybe it does work. Yeah, because there's only 1, 2. No, actually, no, it does have a fully working cargo grid. Ooh, weekend space truck. Gameplay, what? Do we have gameplay? Can we buy and sell cargo? How does that affect our flight model? Let's find out. Okay, right. I think we're good. Let me get out. Make sure our box is still there. It is? Okay, we're good. Oh my god, we can actually test economics. The game has actually reached a state where we can actually go from station to station. Buying and selling things. We can make the game. Finally, it finally feels like I've reached like the stage where it's like, oh, we can actually make the game now. Yeah, because we need to eventually make the stations load and unload. And we need to be clever, so we need to find all players, even in single player, right? We find all players, we track the player position, so we know where all players are, especially for the server. And whenever any player is out of range of a certain asset, we start singling it to be a cube. We just need to make sure the NPCs survive the despawning and the spawning. So when the NPCs die, we get unloaded, and then the player gets close back there again. They get brought back in, and the NPCs come back again. So we need to kind of make sure So we need really the virtual NPCs to be persistent. Let's go to the pickup. We have a lot of things we need to add. Are you keeping that instant quantum jump you just did? Yeah, it's gonna ramp. It actually starts at the speed that you're actually going, right? You need to get 150, and then it starts building up and building up and building up and building up, right? It's speed, and you can control it. You can steer it. It's meant to be like Super Cruise, because I believe that the like Star Citizen approach, it has interesting fallacies when it comes to like piracy and being able to pull a ship out of quantum. Like, I really want to make a system where a player has to keep track, like go and hack a terminal and figure out like what ships had just arrived and left and how long ago they left, and then use a wake scanner to actually like scan around that station, you know what I mean, to see like where their wake is, like, you know, where they jumped, to get a vector. And then you can kind of start hitting out that way, you know, like kind of, you can kind of target the wake. But can you like quantum in any direction and just guide that direction? Yeah, absolutely, yeah. But that's the thing, is you have to, once you get moving, your control, like the faster you go, the control window goes down to almost nothing. So when you're trying to hightail someone, you know, you only have almost one or two, you have to kind of know where they're going to be. You have to kind of head off their, you know, like look at their route and see where they're going and try to catch up to them. You know, get them targeted with an interdictor so you can pop them, you know, out of quantum. It has to be a physical thing, right? So, but the great thing is, it's like, you know, that way if you fail, like, you know, if you overshoot them, right, it's going to take you a lot longer to kind of turn around and come around back again. And if they realize that you've been picked up, you know what I mean, they're probably going to pop out of quantum, and it's going to be a bit of chicken and egg, but at least it's totally possible, you know, with skill then, right, to catch someone and pop them out of quantum. There's a whole system. I have a whole system of like how I want it to work, and how like and how it can be like very intense. You also can't use weapons in quantum, right? In warp. So in warp, weapons don't work, right? You're bending space-time around you, right? The only reason why the interdictor works is the interdictor is creating like a mass, like kind of like a bubble, like an anti-mass of the ship that has the interdictor, and kind of behind you to force your own bubble to be unstable, thus pulling both ships back out of warp. And then you pretty much, like, you know, the pirate still needs to be outfitted, right? Because the person coming out of warp can decouple and be ready to engage, you know what I mean? So just because you won the tug of war of pulling them out of quantum, out of warp, doesn't mean you're going to win, you know what I mean? Like the battle, they could be really good, and they could be really quick at like kind of, you know, jumping again, and then your chances of finding them, it's the same thing. Then you have the wake scan, right, and figure out their vector, and then jump the vector, you know, and kind of feel for where they would have gone. Because the idea in my game, right, so this is kind of, let me show you like Notepad how this works, right? So gravity, in US, if you have like a planet, right, and another planet, right, what happens is we have these gravitational kind of gradients, right, that are kind of like, you know, they get weaker the further away from the planet you are. And this is all done in compute shaders, right? So as you get closer, you are a ship, right? So you're this kind of like ship here, and you're kind of like heading this way. As you get closer to any gravitational body, right, that has mass, the maximum speed of your warp, right, is going to decrease and decrease and decrease, right? Because you're too close to a celestial object, right? So what my game is going to want you to do is look at the star map, and when you're making routes, right, from, you know, to here, you're kind of going to aim, you know, fly kind of between any nearest planets, right? so that way your maximum warp speed is the fastest that it can be, right? Because you're not affected by gravitational objects. That's going to slow you down, right? Like if you're a trucker, that's what you're going to want to be doing, right? Is kind of, but that kind of forces per se trade lanes, right? Or you know, regions between, you know, the universe rotating around and, you know, being simulated. It creates kind of like, you know, areas of approach, and kind of like, you know, it creates kind of a very unique system, and I think it works really well, and I won't know until I actually like get it working, but it works really well because it kind of like, you know, it creates a bit of predictability for where players would be, but that doesn't necessarily need to be the case. You know what I mean? They could, you know, come short of a planet and accept the speed decrease or the safety, right? But then they are doubling, right? They are like 1/3, right? Because they're in their gravitational influence. They are intentionally going one, you know, like 1/3 of the speed slower, right? To avoid the risks, right? Which means a pirate who's kind of just going the main kind of slingshot, you know, is going to be able to gain a bit of speed, and maybe that he sees them, you know what I mean, at long range sensors, and can kind of make the jump on them. But the thing is, like, if the you know, the trader is able to deviate, the pirate can't just turn around. You know what I mean? He can, but he had to come at a quantum, you know, burn off the speed, turn around, and kind of make that jump. And if they're jumping back towards the target, that'll never happen. You know what I mean? You want to know the forward vector of a target, which is what, you know, the wake scanner, you know, gives you. Wake scanner, you scan the wake scanner gives you forward vector. Then you can travel that vector, assuming, right? Because the thing is, the warp is affected by mass, right? And it's affected by total mass, right? A full ship, a full spaceship versus empty pirate. Empty pirate has less mass, right? Full big massive spaceship, a lot of mass, right? This warp is going to be limited, right, to the mass, and its acceleration of its warp engine will be affected by its mass. So, you know, the pirate can probably tail, even at a direct, you know, assuming the guy is an idiot and not trying to deviate to a certain degree. Pirate can probably catch up, but you got to remember a few things. You know, the pirate had information on where the player was that it got from the station, or that it got from watching the transaction, or it got from watching, like, being around, which has its own risks. You know what I mean? To the pirate, and they must have gear, right? The pirate must have gear, and all of this gear is illegal, right? So getting caught as a pirate with a wake scanner is death. You know, being hacking the comm network, or, you know, hacking a trade terminal to figure out the price data, highly illegal, right? So the risk versus reward for a pirate is very hard. It's very hard to be a pirate, but it's also very rewarding to be a pirate, because this is very skill-based piracy, right? So I don't know if that right, like, you know, clarifies how things work, but very, very skilled, because you want to have balanced risk versus reward. Like, you can still totally just be a Care Bear and play the game, right? There's going to be a lot of them that are just immersed in the customizing of your ship and upgrading and kind of doing your thing. Hey, Startup Air. But, you know, like as you go in depth, deeper into the underground, or into security, or into medical, right? There's different aspects, right, that get unlocked with the reputation system, right, that make that gameplay more unique and more fun. And yeah. Detail for about, yeah, so I think soon we're going to go back to doing some art, because I've been getting a lot of these game systems in. Because 2D radar doesn't work yet. Like the integrations of the comm system with the ship is not necessarily up yet. I think we finished the comm system model. Mixed smoke pouch, waves, registers. There's a lot of stuff we need to add to the sprint that we either backlog if we don't think we're gonna do it. Mwah. All right, yeah. So cargo works. Cargo grids work. So buying and selling cargo is fine. Ship power. Ship hull. Nope. Yeah, ship hull kind of works. For now, just a generic trigger destruction for salvage bomb. Yeah, it does that. That actually works. Buggy, character linking, any of the cargo boxes. I have separate child prefabs for forks. I think that's actually... That's an art pass, actually. How do I change this? Yeah, this can be 3D art. Door prefabs are actually going to be 3D art as well. We'll start organizing this stuff. Startup era, how was your day? What are you working on? Yeah. Move this to art 3D as well. It's part of level design. NPCs spawn on their own ships. You know what? I think this is going in the sprint. Setting up the GitHub repo from our current project. Thanks for asking. Good. It's too warm. Here it's like really warm, which is really annoying. But other than that, things are good. I would like to get ships spawning their NPCs spawning their own ships. It would be great. Gotta go. Have a good one, Startup Air. Yep. Yeah, I have a Unity project and I want to port over all the movement to it. And Unidots failed me. But I might do it manually. I might manually take the FBXs, move them into Blender, and kind of do the conversion ourselves and fix the default pose for them. I'll show you guys. Good. Oh my god, Unity. Yeah, so it's this one. So this is a pack that I bought, and I think we're gonna go with it. There's some cheesiness to it, but it's got all the animations we need. Right, so it's got the 45-degree assets walking. It's got the running with 45s. got the super running with 45s. It's got crouches with 45s. Not like, they're not like, they look to be like customly curated and not necessarily done. Like they're not like mocap. You know what I mean? Like I can kind of tell they're not mocapped. But I like these, especially for 0G. Like if we can bring these, if we can get all these in the blender, right, for a unified rig, right, I could actually decrease the influence of these, right, to create like a really nice kind of a spacewalk. Because we're going to be like IK overriding the hand and feet poses anyway, so it'd be kind of nice if you could kind of grab on, kind of, you know, to like as you're kind of moving around, and the 0G would just kind of like feel a lot better. And these are nice, right? We have our like death in water, death idle, swim idle, and then there's a lot of nice NPC ones for like 45 movements that can blend. We're kind of getting them kind of turning without rotating them all the time. So, and they're not root motion, they're, you know, they're just maybe they are root motion. Yeah, because it's a left and you just run it backwards. But these are nice, like there's a lot here to work with for a base MMO. We have like cheer, wave, all the different sittings, so 1 meter, 75, 25, all the metrics I use in the game. Falling and landing. Their jumps are not too great, but overall, good set to export. I have the Animation Pro ones as well, but they're like way too many. You don't really need like a huge giant set. I just want enough that the NPCs look good. And I definitely want crouch. But I like these. I really like the swimming animation too. But they're not, I might have to bring them in myself. I don't think they're root motion. They look to be in place. No, they are root motion. That's still fine too. Oh, okay, so there's different versions. So there's a root motion version. Oh, and there's an in-place version of each set. So there's a basic motions, non-root motion, which is perfect. And there's the same set with root motion. Right, and they're all set up. Okay, that's perfect. So this will be a bit of work to get working, but I think it'll be better. Even though there's, I don't know, maybe it's just the character design that the mannequin that they used that makes them look a bit rigid. I mean, they're definitely kind of fluid on the joints. So I don't know, maybe it's just me. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't really look that bad, to be honest. So are all the spins here? They are. in one animation. Yeah, it's really just like going through and doing one cycle and then slowing down the motion of that one cycle. It should be kind of cool. Well, anyway, that's some of the food for that stuff. We're gonna, because I really want to get FPS stuff finished. I want all of the animations that we need kind of labeled and defined, and like one unified controller created to do them. Hey, Toast, thank you. I'm starved to death. Oh, let me find the phone. Try to get some code. Yeah, the window's open. Maybe the other window's not open. I'll be right back. Let me check my other window. Turn the light on, maybe. Put some light in here so I can actually see. Gonna finish this last piece of toast, and I'm gonna start diving into art. Alright. Right, I'm gonna go put my plate away, use the washroom. When I get back, it's gonna be art time. We are gonna start working on some art. I've finished a lot of the minor details of the board, the stuff that I want to get done. And for the rest are really, yeah, details. Oh, okay, we're back. Yeah, so I think we're gonna spend a half an hour with a bit of art. I'm gonna take a break. This has been good, and I'll do the build. The Unforgiven systems build. Or let me make sure we can actually access rigid body testing in the main menu, which I think is just called item port testing. Yeah, so it is item port testing. It should be over here. Okay, so we can buy a ship. Cargo. We gotta make sure the spawning system is working right. Take this. Yeah, what is creating this mesh? There's not even a station. I think like one of the nav meshes is not defined. Right? Yeah, station 2. This node and this got moved. Oh, do I have a version still running in the client? Mm-hmm. Ooh. Yeah, like the shields here are fine. I wonder, does something change for this? Hmm?
Well, pause for
What?
don't like.
Wanna try some?
Yeah, and then
I
continue.
already had some. Why is there an animation data here? Yeah, the design should use the other references. It's not the one that gets exported. This is the one that gets exported. There's issues with the normals. You're supposed to be copying it from a base. There's another bruise. What is this? Really? Inside? Wow. I don't see shit with Jerusalem yet. A bull for the toilet. Yeah, you gotta go through all this and actually like redo the design pretty fast. Oh, okay, no, that is set. No, so there's a bit spin this road out metallic in the previews. We can actually see it. $2,600. It's going good, man. We're back at art. I'm gonna get ready and raid out in a bit. Take a break early today, though. I just did a build. We now have quantum travel, so I'm pretty excited. Yeah, we stopped all these. We had to rebuild the design aspect of the ship in Thunder, so we can start actually like detailing the exterior of the ship and actually baking on like bolts and details. Get the panels actually sorted, so they're not just placed over there. Let me show you before we. Yeah, piracy is going to be so fun. All right, you ready to see kind of some actual progress? 2,600. So we have a warp drive now. Obviously, delivery missions. That we can bring over and kind of do. Gonna buy some gas. I'm gonna bring in the ship. We're gonna take this comm system. Oh, just wait. Just wait. Warp drive, comm system. Cargo. We have our new map mode. Oh no, I didn't want to show you that. Target. Map mode. Working missiles. With effects. Hang on. Ignore the shields. I'll show you the shields later, but check it out. Gravity-based quantum travel. Slowly ramps up warp speed based on our distance or gravitational bodies. And this is the final, like it'll be controllable warp. So we'll just keep getting faster. Pop out of warp. We just slowly decrease, burn off the speed. Get it back over here. Get it going. On the warp. And now we can go forever. Back. So, hey, how's it going? Start up here. So we were doing 500 meters per second, 600 meters per second, 700 meters per second. Gives you an error. Are you doing like /raid Revere in your own stream? Boom. Look at that. Look at where we are. We now have the whole universe at our disposal. And I have my cargo. My cargo's on me. So you've not only settled in with it out, it seems that you're really thriving. This is something with your settings. Weird. People have raided me all the time. I don't have a block on my raid. Ability to be raided. We've been raided a bunch of times. So are you spelling Revere right? It doesn't matter if you're following a person or not. Like if you're already live right now and you do /raid, let me boop. Oh, but 2600. This is just the beginning. Hang on, check this out. Let me show you. Look at this comm array. Notice that this comm array here, which I'm connected to, is green. Check this out. I'm just gonna. The game looks sick. Hey, thanks, man. Check this out. There's just placeholder graphics right now, you know? Thanks for the follow, Bub. Oh, I'm gonna get stuck on the outside, but look, there's our cargo box. It says Revere's ratings do not allow you to rate at this time. Weird. Unless it was. Hang on. Let me go in there. That probably explains why we haven't really had a lot of external engagement. None of this is on. No one, you're not blocked. No, it's still, if there's a setting that's stopping me from being raided, I gotta look into it real quick. Disconnect protection, latency mode. Enable clips. People who can stream your channel. Oh, the minimum number of viewers has to be 1, and the account has to be 30 days old. That seems to be a new default. I mean, it would make sense if there's only 1 viewer, then that's just they could just come. I will change it to 15 just to see. And see if that works. Rating minimum has been changed. Allowing raids from new channels is always risky, blah blah blah. That's fine. I think 2 weeks is probably good to be raided by for someone. Either way, time will go by. So yeah, 2600. So I know you've seen some of the other stuff, like you know, ship NPCs now fully functional. They have combat. They can now attack the player. We can now do bounty missions. On in my ship. Boop. Here comes the aggressor. Here he comes. Here comes the pirate. That's a full NPC. Now he's gonna get beached because he doesn't know how to handle gravity right now, which is totally fine. He can't really hit me right now, so let's go and deal with him real quick here. Get this out. Woo. Hey, Revere! Oh my god, I'm so sick. How's it going, Johnson? Where is he? Here he comes. Get wrecked! Get wrecked! Get wrecked! Come on, missiles! You can do it, missiles! You can do it! They can do it! No, they can't! Oh, don't bang into each other! Need to turn off collisions on the missiles. Apparently the missiles are the biggest threat to themselves. They're not a threat to, It's coming along, Judson. I have a really good player economy system I'm going to be working on. Oh, come on! Touch the ship! You can do it! Oh, it did it. Okay. What's it doing? What's it doing? What's it doing? It's now apparently flying away from me. Oh no, I'm just going to kill him. Show you, Judson, what I've been working on. The empty test scene of all things that can now happen. Very excited. So check it out. This is insane. So this is what's new. We now have component system coming online. So shield generators. This is the warp drive. So we now have I can take cargo, put it on the ship. So let's bring our ship in real quick here. This is the new world UI I've been working on, which is now dynamic. So we have a comm system. We're hooking up to that comm array behind us, which is how piracy and stuff is dealt with. So there's a comm system. There's our actual shield. We can take off weapons. I've already showcased all that stuff. That's all everything that used to be. I'm gonna go ahead and stick on some cargo. Oh, you could put the mining lasers on it. We don't care about the mining lasers. There's a planet. You can't land on it. So this is what's new. Check this out. So now we can get up to speed. And we can do this. We now have a warp drive. Feels like we're doing a heist. And it continues to increase speed and increase speed and increase speed. And there's a whole system that's going to be designed with a compute shader that takes all the positions of the celestial objects and kind of just think of it like an outward gradient that blends in. It creates like a gravitational map that we can sample the position from to figure out what our max speed would be as we're flying around in real time. Because pretty much the closer you are to a celestial object, the slower the warp is. So you have to kind of be very specific about how you fly around. And if of course we have a map mode, we're going to pop Code of Quantum and burn off all that speed. And look at how far we are. And let's see that in reverse. Speed back up. And we are cruising. It goes hard. Right, we're just kind of cruising along. We get ripple, we have some displacement, and just cruising in our universe. So now we have scale. Now we can split up things. We can do level design. I'm gonna go shoot that ship real quick. Right now there's distance between things, and distance between things is super important for game design. Now, where is that ship? Once we're able to do real scale stuff, things become very interesting. Yeah, so these are just there's a comm array. We can kind of fly over here. We're gonna go turn that off because, piracy. it's gonna clip us out, but that's fine. I can't remember what sci-fi book I read, but they fired nukes at each other because you didn't need a direct hit. Just approximate hit was good enough to disable the other ship. I gotta fix this little bit of. I'm gonna shut off this comm satellite. Now it's off. Very clear indication that it's been disabled from a distance. Here's our target ship. There's ships over here. So yeah, it's all coming together. A lot more multiplayer stuff is now online. You got follow botted. I'm in the club now. Oh my god, it's happened twice now, and it sucked last time because I ended up had to turn off a bunch of settings, so like I couldn't see like anything like alerts or like just pretty much had to disable the bots because it was just nonsense forever. I'm like, I have no idea what what I mean, like what a bot gains from that kind of thing. In a sense, it sucks. Like, you imagine if you were a new streamer, and like imagine how like shitty this would be. And this is why I don't care. Like, I don't really give a shit. But let's look at my stream. This is what sucks. This is what really sucks about it. If we look at like our own history, right? Where like things are growing naturally over time. Let's come back here, right? Let's just pretend that this is like this is the natural organic growth of a streamer. And then suddenly, you know what I mean, you get hit with this like stupid little here we go. This is what I'm looking for. Right, this is the issue. If you're a new streamer and your growth is like really slow and you get like follow rated, which is going to obviously bleed off all of these over time, but like you're not going to see true growth, right? Like until like, whatever the, the average increase is. So like you won't see your natural organic growth line appear until you've kind of like, like kept on going at that same rate for the next like, whatever it would be, 6 months. It sucks. But and it also like just random names. It's it's so stupid. It completely destroys your just your milestones. It kind of, in a sense, it takes your milestones away from you. Right? Like like 3,000 was going to be a big deal, and then like like I was like, oh look now we're at 3,300 followers, and it's like and now the milestones don't matter because of bots. Right, so it's really dumb. It's a really dumb way of promoting a channel. Like there's, I don't know, I do not see the point. Even like the whole buying viewers and stuff. Like how is that helping you, having random robots like open up a web browser? Like, it sucks. I hate it, but Twitch needs to like fix their shit. But yeah, so yep, that's where we are with things. We can do missions, we can buy our components. So I'm gonna do a build. I'm gonna take all of the code I've been working on, I think this week. I'm gonna push it into the main build. And get everything set up with the real ships, the fully modeled ones, and just see how things feel. I look at some metrics, and the only benefit they offer is they make the number under the stream bigger. Right? Like, how is that helping? You know what I mean? Like, How is that helping the Patreon? You know, how's it helping the project? How's it helping the exposure? You know what I mean? Of it's not silly, silly. Means but yeah, this build will be cool, man. We're gonna have yeah. So I'm debating getting the NPC navigation system working for the systems. Like if we can do system navigation working for NPCs, and get their state machine polished because they work. They go around, you know, like putting all the nodes, like in a test station, like, you know, 2 bar nodes, you know, entertainment nodes, get them working, and then add in the NPC pads so they can spawn their own ships in. There's nothing stopping, like the ship flight works on its own. They're fully capable of flying on their own. So bridging the gap between NPCs being able to spawn their own ships and escape the station to go to another station would be really cool now, even this early. But anyway, I was going to raid someone 20 minutes ago and take a break, but let me shout out here to Jotson, who's awesome, and I missed it. Let me when that finishes timing, I'm going to give Startup Air a shout out as well. You guys should all be following Jotson. Jotson's one of my favorite Godot devs from. I remember like watching Jotson from back in the day when I was just a Unity dev, you know, exploring the waters of you know, what other engines had to offer. Yeah, so this works, and we can change the color of what we want them to look like, and I think the position of the lights is good. Yeah, and yeah, so it'll be get the NPC nav mesh, get the NPC spawning their own ships, and start getting the single player features working with multiplayer. That's gonna be the next push. It'll be cool. Yep. And if you guys are interested in the project, check out the Patreon. If my bot even works, it does. $5 gives you access to the dev builds. Let's make the project real. Check out our Discord, and I will copy those into probably a route. Need to find a better way of copying things into social stream. Copy text. Maybe I can do this. And post it to YouTube, maybe. And we're gonna go find someone to raid. It's really coming along nicely. You made a lot of progress. Yeah, I think so. Hey, fellas. Hey, Settlers. Let's go see Settlers. English. Before I hit that button, we got shout out. Or start it. And we are going to fire the raid.